now we're going to get into entering some text. So there's a lot of different ways you can enter text on the page. The most obvious one is you can type it. So probably lots of times you are going to type text. You know, there will be times certainly when you will want to create a page from scratch, entering the text directly. My guess is that the majority of times you're going to be pasting from some other source, either from another web page or from a Word document or something else. And this allows all those things. So let's just get into some of the things that you can do when you type text. So first of all, you notice I click there, I just start typing. Here is some text. It'd help if I could spell it. One of the things you should know is that, for example, again, stylistically, there's a certain spacing between paragraphs. If you hit enter at the end of a line here, it's going to put that spacing in there. So now this is another paragraph. If I didn't want that, as is sometimes the case, sometimes I want a line break, but I don't want to actually create a paragraph. You can hold down Shift and hit enter, and you will get another line without creating a paragraph. But stylistically, between paragraphs, we want that spacing. The spacing is determined overall for the entire site, and you want it to be consistent everywhere in the site, and that's why we do that, just as we want the text to be consistent everywhere in the site. You'll notice I cannot go up here and highlight this, and as I could in Word, change this font to some other font. The font is Tahoma. I guess it's Tahoma. You know, it says that here, but it could actually be something else by the system. And it's a 12-point font, and that's not going to be something you can change. But I can make the font bold, and the bold, what that bold style is controlled by the designer of the site. I can make the text italics. I can underline. Unfortunately, I can strike through. You're probably not going to want to use that. There are some things that I don't know whether we're able to disable that, but we can do that. And I don't know, can you? Oh, and we can clear the formatting, but you can't highlight. You can't change the color of the font. It's designed to keep you out of trouble and make it very easy to just put text in there and make it match the style of the site without any kind of HTML or whatever knowledge. I just need to refer to what I was going to tell here. Okay. We do have some additional things that you can add. So I noted that, for example, I noted that you have this page header, and I can put this. I'm going to actually put this in for now. One header. Notice that comes in at a bolder and larger font than this. I can also custom add, using these markup styles, a level 3 and a level 4 heading. So these you can use as much as you want. You can only have one section 2 header, or level 1 section header, but you can have as many headings as you want within a body of text. So I can just say I want that to be a level 3 heading. I may actually have to. Yeah, that's going to stay that way now. That's a weird. We need to put that back to paragraph. I need to put a new paragraph in order to do that and tell this heading ing 4. So now if I click anywhere in here and I tell this I want it to be a level 3 heading, it's going to be that. If I tell this I want it to be a level 4 heading, it's going to be that. But I can still type below this. Some other things that you can use, we have bullets and numbers. So these are just, again, and by the way, if you copy in a bulleted list, it'll probably come in as a bulleted list. Depends on the source that you're doing. But I can turn on bullets here, and I can say, and if I tab, it will actually change according to the site design. I don't know if Trevor's got anything in here. It doesn't look like. If there's sub-bullets, it will actually allow the bullets to be different styles. It looks like the style here is to have all the bullets be the same, at least for now. Styling's not done. Oh, that is the style. Okay, okay. And just so you know, if you just hit, at the end of a bulleted list, if you hit enter, and then enter, and then enter, it'll take you back to the end. You can also just hit, if you're in the list, you make a new one, if you tab, and then you do Shift Tab. It just allows you to bring it back. That works just the way it does in Word. Is that? Yeah. Okay, now we can also make a numbered list. So this is for making outlines, and we've modified this somewhat from the way it works out of the box. So here's, item, and then I want to make another one, and it's going to go 1, 2, oops, see, I didn't put anything in there, so 3. Now if I tab, I'm going to get A, B, C. If I tab, I'm going to get Roman numeral, tab, I'm going to get lowercase a, lowercase b, and then finally, I'm going to get lowercase Roman numerals. And then if I tab again, it's going to start over. And if you have, and that will actually repeat that again all the way out to the 5th one, and then it will fail. But anybody, quite frankly, who needs to do an outline that's more than 5 levels deep should see their psychologist. Okay, so let's see. We've got, now we're going to talk about pasting. So I'm just going to, if it's okay with everybody, I'm just going to erase all of this stuff and talk about pasting text in. Now, notice how I erased that back, and remember this, if I click out here, got a little thing. That's not all gone. Still not all gone. Okay, so there is a, what's that? Oh, and the delete kind, yeah, that's one way to be sure. There we go. Okay, so that's one way. There is a, if you get stuck, there is a internal way to just look at what's in there. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking about that though, because as Eric pointed out, generally speaking, backspace and delete is going to get rid of your stuff, and you can make sure that there's nothing surprising hanging out in your section. All right, so now what you're going to do much more commonly, of course, is paste. So I'm going to bring up another site here, and I'm going to go to Shungal. So you can see I already have it there, the Shungal biography. Oh, and he doesn't have it up anymore. So our master violin player here at the university, and we can go to bio. So now we're going to grab some text, and you can see that's all in a different font, and it's different sizes, and so forth, and I'm just going to grab a few paragraphs out of here. Extra returns, and all the sorts of things that you might encounter. Say copy, go back over here, and I'm going to paste this in this box. And what you see is, except for the extra returns, it cleaned that up and put it in the style of the math site. And now it's going to be very easy for me to back these guys out. If this is the way I clean this up. I go all the way back and just hit enter. If there's a lot of extra returns in there, I like to make sure that there's nothing between those paragraphs, but pretty easy. And now I've got my text in there, but you notice that this link that he had in there stayed. So allowable things will remain, make it easy for you to put in. If you didn't want that link, we could click on that link, and we could go up here to link tools. Notice how everything's context sensitive. So when I'm out of there, I don't have a link tools thing. But when I click in there, and I have link tools, I can say format, and then I could just say remove link, and I would no longer have that link. Just as easy to make a link. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so now I've got my text from that website, and this is a good point to talk about at least a little thing, how not to lose your work. I'm going to talk about a lot of these controls that are up here in more detail in a little bit, but for right now, it's important to note that this is one big difference from the way the ribbon in Word typically looks. The ribbon in Word has a save button up here that just saves and allows you to keep going. In SharePoint's editor, the default is to save and close the page. Nothing bad would happen, but you'd have to open the page back up if you wanted to continue editing it. So there's a little down arrow here. You click the down arrow, and you say save and keep editing. And that's my safety. Now I've saved it, and the page reloads probably if Trevor updated borders. I don't see them, but
that border around
this border here?
Yep.
Okay, that became darker. Okay, so what we just did is we just saved it and made sure that we don't lose what we were working on. There is an autosave also, and there's lots and lots of layers of backup. Another thing we really like about SharePoint. So now I want you to know early on about a function that makes it easy to know what your page is going to look like. Up here in the menu, on the Page tab, there is a button that says Preview. And this button is going to pop up a window that's going to show you what the published page is going to look like. So it's very easy at any point along the way to check your work and to see the published version of the page. There's two things that I want to make sure everybody knows here. One is that pop-ups have to be enabled for the site. So the first time you try to do this, if you have pop-up blocker turned on, it's going to stop this from happening. And you need to tell the pop-up blocker not to block pop-ups for what will be publish.math.udel.edu. And the second thing is that it does pop up a new window, and if you don't close those windows when you're done with them, and you keep previewing, you're going to have window after window after window. So you'll just see, it's just a good habit. As soon as you look at it, close it, so that you don't get lost in which one is the one you're really working on. So I'm going to click preview right now, and it may say that it's blocked. No. So we've done this before. And there you go. That's what my published website would look like, my published web page would look like right now. The one thing that is missing is the title, is the actual page on the menu over here. And that page title won't appear until the first time the page is checked in, which is something we'll talk about in a while after we get done editing a bit. So I'm just going to close this tab and go back to my editing page and work on it some more.